Hey viewers, welcome to Virtual Technical Lectures YouTube channel. By this video, I am going to lecture and demonstrate about how do we build a web client to make a communication with a REST API. So for the demonstration purpose, I have created a REST API called as Course API. So this API comes with three features. One, to find all the courses in the data store. Number two, to add or save a new course to the data store. And number three, to remove a course from the data store. So that REST API was developed using Spring Boot REST controller and JPA as a persistence layer and H2 database as a data store. It is a in-memory database. Okay, so before getting into the on-the-fly demonstration of building a web client, so let me walk you through the features of the REST API and the data store and the list of courses it has. So this is a REST control which was I am talking about. So it has three features. The feature number one is a get request mapping, and this is the URI, and this lists down all the courses in the data store. And the second feature is a post request mapping, which is used to add a brand new course to the data store. And the third feature is delete course. So it is a delete request mapping, which is used to delete or remove the course from the data store. So now I'm going to do a on the fly demonstration of building a web client using Spring Web Client Library to make calls to this API and perform these three features. Okay. So the step number one for creating a web client. So go to your browser and hit on this URL start.spring.io and select the Maven project, and the version is 3.2.1, and supply all the project metadata fields, and the packaging type is jar, and Java version, it's your choice. So I had chosen 17. And on the dependency side, click on add dependencies and Spring Reactive Web. So select this module and then click on generate. I had already supplied all the required fields and I had generated it. So when you generate, you would get a zip file of a Maven project with all this setup with the Spring Reactive Web dependency, and you will have to unzip that. So I had already unzipped it and I had imported that into the Eclipse workspace. You could see here the course client is the project which I had imported into the workspace. So when you import into the workspace, you will get only one package with a Spring Boot application with annotated with Spring Boot application, right? And the rest of the classes we'll have to create to make calls to the REST API. Okay, so step number one is done. We have imported that required Spring Boot project, and the step number two is creating a data transfer object. So this data transfer object is for conversion of the JSON response received from the API to a Java object. So courses DTO. So our JSON response is going to bring us two fields, ID and the name. So with that fields, I have created a data transfer object. So step number two is done. And step number three, we'll have to create a consumer interface. and the implementation of it. So the consumer interface will have three methods. So it is a contract that we are going to implement the three features of the API, right? So these three are the contracts of this course consumer, wherein the first method, find all courses, is used to hit the API to get all the courses in the data store, and the second is going to save a course to the data store. The courses to be saved would be encapsulated in the courses DTO. On a similar fashion, for removing the courses to be removed would be encapsulated in the courses DTO, and that particular course would be removed by calling the API. So the implementation for it is course consumer implementation. So it implements the course consumer. It means it has to override all these methods, or it has to implement all the methods of the interface. So this course implementation has a dependency on a web client, okay, because it's required to make a call to the API. Okay, so step number 3 is complete. So now step number 4, injecting the dependent beans. Okay, so for creations of the beans in the Spring ecosystem, so we have created a configuration class. So the configuration class is over here, course client config. It has to be annotated with at configuration. Here I'm having two bean. One is web client and the other one is course consumer implementation. So the course consumer implementation has a dependency on the web client. Okay, so this web client does a basic configuration of a web client. So it configures the base URLs of the API. So if you see here, the web client, on the web client class, we call the builder method and then we configure the base URL. So this is the base URL of the API we are going to invoke. So here it is hard coded because for the ease of demonstration, okay, and calling the build method would return back a web client method. Now this web client object can be used across the methods in the course consumer implementation. um, after that's been injected to that course consumer implementation. So this is the configuration. Okay, so step number 4 is completed, and step number 5, we are going to implement all that methods in the course consumer interface. Okay, in the implementation class, if you see, the web client is auto wired through constructor injection, right? It is done that way because it is a mandatory field for the course consumer. Without that, the course consumer implementation cannot make an API call, right? So it is made as a constructor injection. Okay, now let's go ahead and write the web client to call the find all courses API. Okay, so here we are getting back our response from the HTTP request as an object array, because it is not a single course object we are receiving. We are receiving multiple courses from the data store. So this has to be imported, and this has to be object array. So mono responses is equal to web client. So we are going to make a GET request, and what is the URI? We'll have to copy from here. Done. And what are we going to accept? Means the response which we are going to accept. So it is media type dot application underscore JSON, right? And We are not going to send any thing as part of the request body to make the API call. So we can say retrieve, right? And then we are converting the response body which we receive from the API to mono object, right? So we are getting back that is right object array dot class. Following this, we have to get back that object which is wrapped in the mono object array, which is wrapped in the mono. So responses is equal to mono responses dot block, and here actually you should say dot log, right? So now it is a blocking request. Okay, so now I need an object mapper, right? So I need an object mapper to convert back object mapper. So this is required to convert each response object into courses DTO, right? So now I'm going to stream through that. So the Spring Web Client is a very good module to stream over the request. Okay, arrays dot, if you see, stream, and then we can pass our object array, right? And then we do a mapping. So I think there is something problem. Let me check arrays dot stream of responses, and then map response. So each of the response object we are picking up, and then lambda expression object mapper dot convert value, picking up each of this response object, and we are converting that into courses DTO dot class, right? Wait, dot, and then collectors dot to list, right? That's all done. Okay, so now let's run this. To run this, we need a course client, right? So here actually we have to make Spring Bean to use this client configuration to inject the dependency and get from there, from that Spring application context, the course consumer, and then call this method, right? So that is our next step. So course client, so we'll create the application context and app context, and it is equal to new annotation config application context of our course client config, right? And from this, what we are getting is course consumer, yes, course consumer. It's okay, yeah. So here course consumer is, so here I'm using app context dot get bean again course consumer dot class. So this will return back the implementation from here. So we are getting back this. Now our job is very simple. Course consumer dot find all courses. So here this will print out all the course details. That is because on the DTO I have overridden this toString method which would print the course ID and the course name. Okay. So now let's quickly run this. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, there is some problem. Method not allowed. Okay, okay, the URL is wrong. Where is that? Yeah, see here. I am calling an add course which accepts only post request. So I have to go and change this. It is not this one, it is this one. So course client consumer. It is a problem with the course consumer. So control V. Okay. So now if you run, it should work. Yeah, cool. Let's get back all that 6 courses. You can cross check that. Okay, the data I haven't shown the data store. So let me show now. Actually, it is a miss. Connect courses run. So all these 6 courses are printed in the console. So let me maximize this. See here. So it's printed very clearly. That's it. Done. So now let's move on to next one. So we'll have to copy the URL perfectly. Add course. So course consumer, it's this one. So here actually we are going to get back an object, right? So it is a mono response equal to web client dot, it is a post request, and then URI, right? And then so we are going to accept. So media type dot, yes, and then we have to send the body, right? Because we are going to send to the API the course details which has to be saved. So how are we sending that? Okay, so this one courses DTO. Okay, and what is that? Class, right? And then the rest all are same. Retrieve, and then when we are retrieving, it is body to mono. Here it is object dot class dot log, right? This would return the mono object. So now the next steps are the same. So hence I'm copying from here, but only thing is it is not an object array, right? So here it should be mono response, and here it should be this one, and here it should be object mapper dot convert value your responses. I think it should be response. Yes, so it is readable response, and then we are converting that into courses DTO dot class. Okay, it's all done. So now a course object will be saved, but from the course client, when we are calling, we have to create a courses DTO object, right? இப்போ என்னன்னா So here we are creating the courses DTO object with the details of the courses we are going to save. So courses DTO dot set ID some number, okay, and dot set name. Yes. So now the same things is out. Here course consumer dot save course. Done. So this is not required. So it is sufficient to have this. So now let's run this. Yes, it has saved it. So this is the saved object which is returned back from the API. Let's check the console. Yes, the new course is saved. Now the next is the remove course. I'll copy this completely because it's the same. Only thing is the URL changes. So and also there is a small change also. You have to convert this part into request specification. Okay, so request body spec. Okay, it should be taken from not from the package web.client but from web.react. Okay, the rest all are the same. Okay, so this is not required. So we are submitting the request body here. Okay, this will take care of converting the course DTO object into JSON request. Okay, from the client we'll have to send this. So the job is done. So course client.java, and now it's going to be the same except that the method name is different. So I will just comment out this, and this should be remove course, right? Okay, let's run this. And check the console. No, there is some problem. Method not null because I haven't changed it to delete actually. Yes, see it is still in the post. So this URL accepts only delete. Okay, so now let's run this again. Yes, it has removed it. Let's go and check. Yes, it's removed. So that's the end of the session. Okay. Okay. Okay, viewers, thanks for watching. If you like this video, click on like, and for more videos like this, please subscribe. Bye.